And it's just like when I got hit a couple of years ago coming out of here, you got the youngsters just, well, they want to bob in and out, you know. They see you coming out, but then they're trying to hurry up and pass you. That's how I got hit. I was already out, and then they decided they was going to pass me. And that's why they got their car tore up, and mine wasn't. They got nicked. They nicked me right here. I was coming over, and they were coming over the same time I was, and they nicked, they
They
nicked me.
hit you.
They hit me, but they told me I was at fault because we're in the lane at the same time with no windows. But that's okay. I only got one more year with them. You know, I never had any other accidents, no tickets, no nothing. So it was a 3 year.
If you get hit in the, it's hard. How could they say it's your fault if you got hit in the back?
Right on the side, right there. Tore their car, didn't have mine.
And they said you had to share?
They said that when we were coming over the same time and they went to pass me, I was already in there. It was my back coming over and they ticked me like that.
Well, my question is, if they hit you in the back, how did they say
That
it wasn't their fault?
Right, because it was on the side. It wasn't a direct hit it wasn't on the back of the bumper, it was on the side of the bumper. So they said, you know.
And the insurance, your insurance agreed to that?
Well, at first they said
Recording in
they
progress.
couldn't prove it.
President Sudeth, I believe we are ready.
Yes, ma'am, I am ready. All right. It is 6:30 Pacific time, and I'm calling the 15th of April West County Wastewater Board meeting to order. I am participating in tonight's meeting via teleconference as I'm attending the Water Policy Week, including the NACWA Policy Fly-In in Washington, D.C. Madam Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Director King Meredith,
Present.
Director Rentila,
Here.
Director Weiner,
Here.
Vice President Alvarado,
Here.
and President Sudeth.
I am present.
We have a quorum with 4 members participating from the boardroom and 1 member participating via teleconference.
Thank you so much. With that, I will ask all to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, or you may observe a moment of silence, seated or standing. Director Indila, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As soon as possible.
Thank you. Vice President Alvarado will serve as a parliamentarian for tonight's meeting. Sir, are you ready and willing to do so?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. As a reminder, the board's rules of decorum are in effect. We ask everyone to wait to be recognized before speaking and keep your remarks focused on the items under consideration. If needed, I will take appropriate steps to maintain an orderly meeting and ask Vice President Alvarado as the parliamentarian to assist me in that manner. Individuals interrupting the meeting may be removed at the president's discretion. Now is the time for public comments on items not on the agenda. Members of the public may comment during this time up to 3 minutes per speaker. Directors may briefly respond or ask for clarifying questions, but may not engage in discussion regarding public comments made during this time. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak for tonight's meeting?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on non-agenda items, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you so much. With that, I will ask General Counsel Nicole Witt to please announce the closed session agenda.
Thank you. The board will now convene into closed session as described on agenda item 1. Now is the time for public comments on the closed session item. Madam Clerk, have we received any comments or requests to speak on the closed session item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to comment on closed session item 1, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comment.
Thank you. We'll now convene into a separate room for closed session and return to this room and to open session and report out if necessary.
Thank you.
Yeah, are we? We gotta go, right?
I don't know what.
We go, right? Oh, okay, I thought we was clearing everybody else out. I'm waiting to see which way we going. Everybody leave, right, I thought we was clearing everybody else out, okay? I was, okay, all right.
You may not refuse.
I know it, let me take my glasses, just, okay.
All right. All right, the board is returned to open session. General counsel, is there anything to report from the closed session? It is now 6:55. General counsel, is there anything to report from the closed session?
No, there is no reportable action.
Thank you so much. General Manager Andrew Cloud, will you please lead us through the remainder of the agenda, sir?
Yes, I will, Madam President. The consent calendar consists of items 2 and 3 on the agenda. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
We have not. If anyone wishes to speak on consent calendar items 2 or 3, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions or comments from the members of the board? If there are none, I will ask for a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar items 2 and 3.
So moved.
Second?
The other items been properly moved and seconded. As a reminder, all votes must be taken by roll call. Madam Clerk, will you please take the vote?
Yes, on the motion by Vice President Alvarado and seconded by Director King Meredith to approve consent calendar items 2 and 3. Director King Meredith?
Yes.
Director Antila?
Yes.
Director Weiner?
Yes.
Vice President Alvarado?
Yes.
President Sedith? The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is regular calendar item 4, to approve items related to the Infrastructure and Planning Department reorganization as listed on the agenda. We received any public comments, Madam Clerk?
No, we haven't. And we'll probably ask again after the presentation.
Yes.
Okay.
I could introduce you, or would you like to introduce yourself, Tanya?
Yes, good evening, Tanya Williams, Human Resources Manager for West County Wastewater. Good evening, Board President and Directors. This evening, we'll talk a little bit about the position modifications in the Infrastructure and Planning Department. So the Infrastructure and Planning Department is proposing to reorganize to design to better to align our staffing structure with current and future operational needs while strengthening oversight in the engineering and capital programs. Over the past few years, we have grown. Our projects have become more complex. Our expectations for delivery and accountability has increased. This reorganization reflects the direction outlined in the strategic plan that was approved by the board. This effort also reinforces a commitment to the strategic goal of organizational capacity and development by recruiting, developing, inspiring, and retaining employees who embody West County Wastewater's values and culture, while fostering a work environment that supports and recognizes their contributions. Not only does this reorganization create clear career pathways and promotional opportunities, but we have also made intentional efforts to support staff development through training, resources, out-of-class assignments, and also conference participation. As a result, we have built a strong and well-prepared talent pool. We have also, not just within the Infrastructure and Planning Department, but also throughout the organization. Our employees are well qualified and ready to step into these roles. Together, these efforts create increased opportunities for staff learning and professional growth, helping us build a more agile, resilient, and capable workforce. We are creating a more balanced and effective organizational structure This approach ensures that managers can focus on strategic oversight while the supervisors provide day-to-day support, resulting in greater overall efficiency and effectiveness. Overall, these changes that Angela will come up shortly and share the PowerPoint slide with you intend to strengthen management functions, clarify reporting relationships, and enhance operational efficiency and effectiveness, positioning the district to better serve our communities now and in the future. So now I'll turn it over to Angela, who will walk through our PowerPoint presentation.
Hello, I'm Angela Andrews, Director of Infrastructure and Planning, and I will discuss the position modification in the Infrastructure and Planning Department. So our current org chart shows that we have 3 divisions. One is our collection systems, operations, capital programs, and then we have planning and support services. And I do want to highlight that the Director of Infrastructure and Planning oversees the 3 divisions. I also want to highlight that in the collection systems division, we did create a ladder of growth with the 2 positions in the collection system field supervisors positions. And we are looking to create similar ladders in the other division. In the proposed org chart, you'll see that we will have 2 divisions versus 3 divisions. And what we're looking at is having the collection systems unchanged, but we will be having 2 divisions merging into one, and we would have 1 capital programs engineering manager to oversee the engineering as well as the capital projects divisions within that division or subdivisions in that division. And we would have an engineering technical resources supervisor and a capital programs supervisor reporting to the capital programs engineering manager. We will continue to have engineers in the engineering services and project managers in the capital projects divisions, where you will have, you're okay? Okay. Where you will have project managers as well as you should have the information in your packet. We do also have an administrative technician as well as a senior management analyst that will be supporting the department versus one division, and this is a resource that will be used across the whole organization. We are looking at having administrative services as a team of analysts that can serve the whole organization, whether it's at the plant or whether it's in administrative services or in the infrastructure and planning departments. It will be seen as a resource for everyone. So Tanya already talked a little bit about the strategic alignment. So what we decided to explain here is the direct correlation to the strategic plan. But to highlight, we feel like this merger of the 2 divisions, the 3 divisions into 2, will improve strategic alignment, streamline decision-making and accountability, enhance efficiencies, reduce duplication, stronger risk management and compliance, holistic portfolio management. We also feel with having the 2 supervisors reporting into 1 manager, it is an opportunity to reduce the number of managers that we're seeing across the organization. This is an opportunity to reduce 1 manager positions while maintaining the career ladder of having project managers report into a supervisor as well as engineers report to a supervisor. And this is, again, a similar strategy that we have implemented in the collection systems operations division. And here are the recommendations. We are asking the board to approve the proposed job classifications and specifications, the reclassifying of the planning and support manager classification to the capital program and engineering manager classification. So this is a reclassification of a position, not a specific person, but an actual classification would be changed to this modification, and approve the amended position control list and wage schedule that's attached to your packet. and I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Oh, sorry, just a second. So we also have a breakdown of the salary ranges for the new classifications here listed, and you see the ranges here. And now I'm available to answer any questions.
Fellow directors, we wanted to advise you that this item did come to the Finance and Administration Committee at our April 9th committee meeting. We reviewed this in length, gave some feedback, so thank you to both the department head and HR for taking that information, Ms. Andrews, incorporating it into the presentation. Director King Meredith, I'll let you start. Any questions or comments you may have, say anything.
Thank you, Madam President. As Madam President just mentioned, this was brought to us, the committee, April 9th, just last week, and it was a lengthy conversation. One of the things, and I'm going to steal the words of our general manager, what he said, not just efficient, but very effective. And with that, I don't have any other comments at this point. We was very thorough when we went through it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for tying it back to the strategic plan as we mentioned during the meeting. I think that's one of the things that we really wanted to emphasize is that this is an operational decision. This is something that, can you go back a couple of slides, please? This one. Because this is the ask of the board. And so, directors, I think this is the one that really is what we're being asked to do. Is one of the things that we gave clear direction on in our strategic planning was to give the general manager and the entire team flexibility to meet our strategic goals. And this does help with that flex planning. And I'm going to ask either Ms. Andrews or Ms. Tanya to please reiterate why this is necessary, not just from a flexibility or effectiveness or efficiency standpoint, but can you please just reiterate which of the strategic plan goals that this will assist with? That's my only question. There you go.
So as I mentioned, we have the board has approved the strategic goals, and with this restructuring or the reorganization that we're planning, one of the main strategic plan goals was the organizational capacity and development, and that really focuses on our employees, making sure that we have the employees that will be able to not only, we can talk about offering promotional opportunities. However, if we don't have the staff that can promote into these opportunities, then there's nothing that aligns with our strategic plan. So by the goal of the organizational capacity and development, we've done our recruiting. As you know, some time ago, our vacancy levels we had a high vacancy level. We've been doing our recruiting. We're down to, I believe we have 2-3 vacancies. So we've been doing that as part of our strategic goal. We've been developing our staff through, we have training portals, through NeoGov Learn, where there's like different trainings. We offer in-person trainings. We have webinars that we also have, and employment law trainings that we participate in. And then we want to retain our talent. We want to make sure that they're growing here within our organization. And so a lot of the things that we've done directly aligns with the strategic goal of organizational capacity and development.
And along that way,
Okay.
one of the questions that I asked you during the committee meeting was along that same lines. And you were able to tell us that already for some of these positions that where we're realigning, that we're able to not, that we're able to open these recruitments for some positions and to backfill throughout the organization, yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I just would like the directors to
Oh, he
hear
went.
this.
Angela's
That I
going.
want the directors to hear that these plans that we put into place, you know, are not just paper plans, but that some of the work that you've been doing is actually coming to fruition because we're able to, especially the fourth one on the screen, these leadership opportunities, the succession planning is really coming to bear. Whereas years ago, we were having problems just filling positions. So I wanted to make sure you actually said that. So that's why I'm asking the question.
Yes, we have a strong bench of internal candidates that will be able to fill these positions as a promotional opportunity. And even though our count is still remaining at 25, we feel that there are these positions that are available, these supervisor positions that are available. We feel that candidates will be able to, if they choose to, promote within. And I do want to acknowledge the collection collection systems operations division for creating the pathway to be an example of how we can create those ladders and opportunities, and our deputy general manager, Michael Savannah, for having that vision to create these ladders in our department.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm feeding you I'm giving you the fishing line, giving you the fishing line so we can get this information out. And then lastly, I wanted you just started to say it about the effect on the full FTE, the number of FTEs, the change.
So the number of FTEs in the department will be unchanged. It will remain at 25 at this time.
Thank you. I believe that was my last question. And no more from you, Director King Meredith?
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's start with the board and the other directors. Did you have before I go to you, I want to check, did we have any public comments first, and then I'll come back to the board.
Thank you. If anyone has any comments on item 4, job classifications, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. All right, board directors, do we have any comments or questions on this item? We'll start with you, Director Weiner.
Does the change increase salaries for the new organizational structure?
So there will be an increase in salaries for the supervisors, but we are removing one manager, so it should be comparable for the overall department. But we can, if more details from our HR regarding the salaries, she can provide that.
So with these changes, the increase is about 40,000 for the one decrease in one manager, and then the addition of the 3 positions here.
So there's a net 40,000
Yes.
increase. And in the larger wage and, I'm sorry, the the big graph for all the wages and all the positions of the district. The only thing we're going to approve is this amendment to it. So what was before is only amended by this. What we will be voting for is just an amendment to accommodate
You're going to
this
be.
reorg.
Yeah.
All the rest of the positions and the wages and all that remain the same. Because that's
So in the
pretty
in the-
complicated.
These are the recommendations that we're requesting. We did add in the staff report the linkage between the engineers and the project managers. What we found during part of our process when we're going through creating new classifications, we have to look at the other classifications, those who report to, and likewise. So what we found is there was a need to link those two classifications. That's how outlined on the wage schedule. But these are the actions that we're asking is to approve the job specifications, also to approve the wage schedule and the position control list, and then to reclassify the planning and support and to the planning and support and the capital combined to the capital programs and engineer manager.
Okay, so, but
Tanya, can-
I guess what I'm trying to
Maybe I
get
can
to.
add something that might answer your question, Director Weiner. Those three positions shown up there, they don't exist right now. So what we're asking for is we're requesting permission to create those positions with this salary range, and then they'll be put on our position control list. Those are the actions the board would be taking. And so we have these positions, and then there'll be other positions that exist that are no longer going to be filled, like the other manager position that
Yes.
goes away.
So they'll remain on the,
It's a job classification that still exists. We haven't, it's not rescinded, it exists. So someday, if somebody was doing a reorg, they could potentially use that job classification and, do a reorganization again. But no, they're not filled. There's no new additional authorization, which is the position control list, where you're not authorizing any additional positions, but we're requesting that you approve these three new classifications that would then give us the ability to organize the way that we want to.
okay, because I looked at the list and had no historical ability to
Right.
review what changes, they weren't redlined or anything.
Yeah, because they're brand new, these
Yeah.
three positions. So
But,
that-
I mean,
and then-
I didn't see where the positions were the only thing in there that has changed,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
It's on the position control list. So they're not the wage schedule, but the position control list should have 3 different columns. It would have the classifications, what positions we're going to retain, where we're going to amend, and what the outcome is. So it should be identified on the position
Oh,
control
I'm
list.
sure it's on the list. What I'm saying is that I couldn't tell if that's the only change we were going to approve.
Yes,
And it is.
yes, that's the only change.
Okay, that's all I'm
Okay,
getting
sorry.
to. And my comment is, we're going through some uncertain times financially for the district, but also for all of our ratepayers. And our Cleaning Green project, generating our own power, is going to turn out to be brilliant. Before it was just a great idea, now it's going to be seen as brilliant because energy prices are going to go through the roof, and we're going to be generating our own energy, and we're not going to be affected by that. And likewise, I'm hoping that we continue to look at our organization for efficiency and the ability to deliver projects on time and under budget, and because it's going to be more and more important through this next 5 years that we figure out ways to use our resources efficiently, because outside forces are going to make it difficult for us to deliver at our planned rate, given that when we decided that, we only knew what we knew. And now we see that there's going to be some perturbation in our ability, our community and our district's ability to do these things. So that just puts more burden on management to, and HR to, be real focused on how we can organize to better use our resources, because they're going to be taxed. So I appreciate your presentation, and now I know what I'm going to do on the vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Winter. Director Mantilla.
Yes, before I ask my question, I was hoping to, that perhaps we can, through the chair, perhaps we could hear from the general manager as to his perspective on this item, besides it being good.
I guess she's saying go ahead. I hear what she said.
Perhaps so. I mean, he was at the meeting, so if he has any other comments, it's fine.
Yeah, I think that most of my thoughts or comments have been covered by Angela and Tanya. Tanya laid out quite a few of the different reasons why, and the consistency with the strategic goal of the organizational capacity and development, creating succession planning, and strengthening our internal communication. We developed a project delivery system and a structure to do so, and we've learned over the few years what might work better and might work more effectively, and that's what we think will happen here, as well as providing those additional promotional opportunities. But part of it is also an eye towards finalizing the Clean and Green project and how the capital portfolio unit will be set up, and as we move into and figure out how we're going to both fund and manage our coastal resiliency project, which is going to be another significant project that probably is not fully staffed at this point, and we may have to come back, but if only when we see the money from the federal government and the state, hopefully, for matches. So it's part of an organizational structure that we expect will change or be added on to in the near future as we ramp up and figure out exactly how we'll manage. Up to this point, it hasn't been it's been a big lift for and the type of project. We don't have a shovel in the ground other than the drill rig for sampling, but so we're trying to gear towards that as well. I don't really have anything else. You guys already covered it.
Thank you. So my questions were, when I first read this, it looked like you were trying to consolidate some of the management to streamline the work, which is what you want.
That is true too, and that's what just mentioned exactly.
Yeah, and so the only question I had was answered about will there be any additional monies coming for these three positions? How much is it going to cost? And that was already answered. And I also wanted to know, was there any discussion with the unions? Are they on board, or do they know about this?
I didn't hear you, Angela, I'm sorry.
Yes, there were discussions with the unions. They have.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes, there was discussions with the unions. We did collaborate and explain our direction that we would like to go, and they have agreed to these reclassifications.
That's awesome. And the last question I had is, these positions are going to be considered permanent, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The classifications are, and we aren't changing our FTE count, our position control list at this point. They'll just be, an individual FTE will be assigned to a different, placeholder. But they are permanent in that sense that there's no employee or there's no position that we're talking about right now that's become a temporary or permanent position, because we're using the same number of positions we already have, just using some different job classifications.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Alvarado.
So the bottom line is $40,000 for
We do have enough in our budget. We've had some vacant positions, so that will be absorbed through that. And then we'll add it to our budget for the next fiscal year. So no.
I think your mic is off, Vice President. I couldn't hear you. I can see it on my transcript, but I
I guess
can't
it
hear
was.
you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just
there we
asking
go.
about the $40,000.
I saw it on my transcript, but I couldn't.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right. If there are no further questions or comments from members of the board, I will ask for a motion and second. And, well, since this
This
is
is
the
us.
Finance and Administration Committee, I'm going to take a little executive privilege and move the item.
Okay. Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Madam President, not just only the chair, Madam President, I would like to so move the recommendations that has been presented to us this evening for the classifications. And, okay, wait a minute.
That's fine. You can just
Okay,
say
is that it? Okay, because I was gonna,
That's fine.
I
That's
was gonna
fine.
go on and
I'll-
I was
I'll
gonna
let her
read this
move it.
whole thing, but okay.
No, you don't. That's fine. I'll let
Okay.
her move it. Okay, can I have a
I was
second?
gonna read it.
I'll second.
Who was that? Rentila, thank
That
you,
was Director
sir.
Antila.
Thank you so much. Madam Clerk, the items seem properly moved by Director King Meredith and seconded by Director Rentila. Would you please take a roll call vote?
All right, on the motion by Director King Meredith and seconded by Director Rentila to approve regular calendar item 4, Director King Meredith,
Yes?
Rentila,
Yes.
Director Weiner,
Yes.
Vice President Alvarado,
Yes.
and President Sedith.
Yes.
We have a quorum, we have the motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Next item, sir.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is other business. Item 5, reports from staff, general manager, and general counsel, which includes a guidance on staff reports board training. You can go ahead while you're up there. I only have a real quick one. As general counsel Nicole Witt's coming up to the podium, the only other announcements I have is that I will be, is one on April 21st, a reminder that Tuesday we have our Earth Month walkabout at the plant. And next week, I got to look up what it's properly called, or our board president can remind me. I'm going on a tour of the Central Valley Water Project next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I'll either call up the right name, or if you just want to say what it is and the organization, you'll just say it, President Sudduth, rather than me have to remember all the acronyms. Maybe she doesn't want to. That's it. When we get that, I'll be back.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, directors. This evening, I'm going to provide a very short training, just some guidance on staff reports. I think from the discussion we just had, it's very clear to me that most of this, I think you all know, I don't think there's going to be anything I'm going to be providing here that's, revelatory, but nevertheless, just a good opportunity to go through this guidance and respond to any questions you all may have. So first, just looking at what the purpose is of staff reports. The purpose is really twofold. It's one, to help directors to support your decision-making, to give context for the board's discussion, to convey technical information that's difficult to convey orally in a presentation, and to help you all prepare for meetings and identify any questions you may have. But it's also for the public. It's the public can read about the action that you all are considering and get all the same information, get the technical information, get the an understanding of what the decision points are and what's being requested, what the agency's working on, and what the board is considering. So as directors, there are a few things that are really good to focus on and look for when you're looking at a staff report. As you all are well aware, public agencies have limited resources, and that means there's always difficult decisions being made and trade-offs being considered. So when you're looking at a staff report, it's helpful to try and focus in, what are the risks, what are the trade-offs related to the recommended action? What's the policy decision the staff is really asking you to make here and asking you to consider? The board, as you all know, has adopted a strategic plan. So how does this recommended action align with the strategic plan? Part of the board's duty is to not just set that strategic plan, but also to see how it is being implemented and to be mindful of how the actions are aligning with the strategic goals that you all have set for the agency. What are the key decision points? What input does staff need? What does the staff report tell you staff is looking for so that you all can focus on those pieces in particular, consider those issues, and in your sort of preparatory work coming to the meeting, think about those pieces and be ready to ask questions, to speak to those, to weigh in, so that is really getting the input that they need. And this can come obviously in the form of an approval, but there's also times where staff is coming to the board saying, we need your thoughts on this. We need to know which direction. And those are the critical policy decisions. So keying in on those key points where we need some strategic input and being ready to provide that input. And then, as you all are well aware, what are the budgetary impacts? The board's fiscal responsibility and fiduciary duties are paramount. And so looking at each item and understanding, being sure that you all understand, and if you're not understanding, asking questions to get to the question of budgetary impacts, exactly as Vice President Alvarado just did. What's the amount? What's that going to mean for our budget this year? What's that going to mean for our budget next year? That's included in the staff report a lot of the times, but if it's not there completely enough, those are the questions that are exactly right to ask. And then what happens when you have questions? There's really sort of two types of questions that come up. Questions that are intended to convey information to the public and questions that are answering the director's informational needs. For questions that are intended to convey information to the public, I mean, I think you all are well experienced from those. We often have these discussions where directors say, I just want to hear that for the record, what is, and then you ask the question. And that's to make sure that directors can key in on pieces of information that are relevant to your constituencies and to make sure that on the record it's clear what the answer to that question is. And then questions to meet your informational needs. What information do you need in order to be well informed to respond, to make a decision regarding what the action item is? Both sets of questions, it's always best to avoid surprises. So certainly with questions that are conveying information to the public, those are going to be asked here, and that's their purpose, and that's appropriate. But it's also helpful to make sure that staff can be prepared to give a fulsome response. So letting staff have a heads up, this is a question I'm going to be asking, so they can be prepared. And then questions that meet directors' informational needs, those can certainly be asked in advance, but if they're going to be asked here, it's also helpful to give staff a heads up. Again, just so that when we are presenting and responding, that staff has the full information to give you the complete answer and help you with what you need in order to make the decisions. And it's also important to just think a little bit about, in this context, the role of the committee. When these items go to the committee, part of the committee's role is to anticipate the issues that are going to be issues of concern for the directors, so that those items can be incorporated into either the presentation or the staff report. If there is anything in the staff report that could benefit from further clarification, asking those clarifying questions so that, again, it can be further refined in advance of coming to the board. And then identifying those areas that need further explanation so that staff is armed with that in advance of coming to the board and presenting the item. That is my presentation. As I said, short, hopefully sweet, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, General Counsel. Great. Do we have any public comments?
If anyone has any public comments on item 5, reports from staff, general manager, general counsel, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, We have no public comments.
Thank you so much. Board directors.
Madam President, that'd be the next item. Or are you asking if they have questions?
I want to know if you have questions first before
Okay.
we move to the next item.
I have none, thank you.
Thank you. Director Weiner?
I have none. I understood. Very clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Director King Meredith?
Yes, thank you, General Counsel, for your presentation. I'm clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Alvarado?
Thank you for that short and sweet presentation.
Thank you. And I do not, but I thank you for this, and I will tell you the reason that I asked her to do that was exactly for that reason. Especially when it comes to committee meetings, I would just implore board directors to look at the committee meetings when you have a chance. I know we can't all attend them. Brown Act, other things going on, but please try and watch them if you have a chance. Before the meetings, you'll find out a lot of information from those meetings that you can glean that may not always make it into the staff report because we ask a lot of questions. There's a lot of time and thought from the staff as well as the committee members. And there's a lot of information there. Okay, thank you. Next item, sir.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. And I'll go back to my announcement. I wanted to make sure I said it correctly. It's a tour, the Central Valley Tour. A big part of it will be the Central Valley Water Project, and it's the Water Education Foundation. I wanted to make sure I said it
Yes.
correctly, whose mission is to inspire understanding of water and catalyze critical conversations, to build bridges and inform collaborative decision-making. And so I'll be spending a few days with them learning about the Central Valley and our water usage.
You don't want to
Back to
interrupt
me.
you earlier.
Final item on the agenda is item 6, Director's Comments Meeting Reports. Madam Clerk, have we received any written comments or requests to speak on this item?
Anyone wishes to comment on item 6, director comments, please approach the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Seeing none, we have no public comments.
You, as a reminder, directors, each of you have an opportunity to report on meetings and activities or events that you've attended for which you are seeking reimbursement or compensation from the district and other matters that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the agency. Know that you have done some wonderful things over the last couple of weeks, and you're excited to tell us all about it. However, not tonight. Tonight, only tell us about the things
Sure.
that are in the jurisdiction of the district. Try and just for brevity's sake, and just for the sake that it's late. So, Director Weiner, you're up, sir.
Director, yes, sir.
Oh. I was reading ahead. Since our last meeting on April Fools, I have attended the El Sobrante Chamber of Commerce. The Stroll Committee thanked the district for sponsoring the next 2026 Stroll event. I also attended the GM Eval Ad Hoc Committee, where we selected an evaluation facilitator. And I visited my grandchild, and he's in the terrible twos, but that's not a problem for us.
Thank you, sir. Director Antila?
Yes, April 1st was our last WCW meeting. Since then, on April 2nd, I attended the Mayor's Conference in Concord with President Sudduth. There was a detailed presentation on human trafficking and exploitation The presenter spoke about a huge uptake in prostitution and human trafficking during major events. For example, the Super Bowl and the World Cup here in the Bay Area. They are asking people, along with police departments, that if you see something, say something. It can save someone's life. On April 7th, the following week, I accompanied President Sudduth, Director King Meredith, General Manager Clow, and staff to the CASA Legislative Day in Sacramento, where, I'm sorry, yes, CSDA conference. Let's see, and where folks from districts receive presentations on upcoming Senate and Assembly bills that could impact special districts and their constituents. The idea that we visit the state offices like Assembly members Buffy Wicks and Senator Jesse Eriquin to advocate for those bills that could help us and to advocate against those bills that could hurt us. President Sudduth led the conversation along with our General Manager, Andrew Clow. We were limited in time, but we feel like we were successful in getting our message across. Just as an example, there are over 1,900 bills this year that could affect the voters and taxpayers, so I would urge you to check it out. On April 13th, we had the RNCC meeting. It ran late, but we had a special presentation from the Finance Department. I asked about the unfunded liability. The number was over 380 for the city of Richmond. That is their unfunded liability, which they are paying down. The city has approximately $300 million in its general fund, and approximately $200 million is spoken for. The city council has not made a decision on how to spend the $50 million that was received from the Chevron settlement money, and is still it's still sitting in a separate account. RPD, Richmond Police Department, is ready to activate their flock cameras. They have to inspect them before they turn them on to make sure that they're still in working order. That was a short presentation from Chief Timothy Simmons. And then our firefighters, Richmond firefighters, we've hired 9 new firefighters, putting that at the highest employment rate in recent history. And this meeting can be found on KCR TV under the RNCC. And then yesterday, we had an IOE meeting for WCW, and we had a presentation on a project closeout report for the secondary sediment basin number 1 and its repairs, and then a pipes program. WCW is still offering very generous rebates for those customers that qualified for our rebate program for the sewer laterals. We need those that qualify to take advantage of this program so it can help the plant run efficiently. And then I wanted to lastly say April 23rd, which is a Thursday night at 6:30, the Fairmead Hilltop Neighborhood Council will be hosting a mayor's forum for 2026. Come on out to the Hilltop Community Church, located at 3118 Shane Drive in Richmond, to hear your potential new mayor and hear them answer questions. That would be the end of my report. Thank you.
What was the time?
You're King Meredith.
What was the time?
I'm sorry, the forum will be held at from 6:30 to 8. Thank you.
Thank you. Director King Meredith?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Also,
I think your microphone is on.
Okay, now, thank you, Madam
Thank
President.
you.
Okay. So since our last meeting, I got a chance to attend the Zoom with the City Council and to hear their discussions, what's going on for funding for our academy, and also for our Finance and Administrative Committee meeting last Thursday, and also I did attend the conference, which was the Special District Legislation Day for 2 days. And Director Ventila went through quite a bit of what had gone on there, so I'm not going to reiterate anything that has been said already. But one of the things that that came out with I'm one of the conferences. One of the sessions was speaking of the rail, the electric rail, and how expensive it is, and it has been it's looking put back on the ballot for individuals to vote. But one of the caveats with that particular rail, other countries has the rail, and it hasn't taken this amount of time, which is taking us to get it up and going. Other countries that has the rail, similar to us, it's only taken 3 years to have it done, and it is up and running. One of the things that our taxpayers will be hit with if it was to be funded and bonded at this round, that the monies that will be paying for this rail will be actually taken from our taxes and property taxes at this point in order to pay for it. So one of the things is to be really clear on who is paying for this rail and where it's coming from. You know, how this money is going to be removed from things that are necessary, needed for our communities and our state in order to keep us up afloat, but it will be monies will be actually taken and moved into the rail in order to support it and actually to finance it. So I just want to make clear that people understand where that money is going to be going in order to actually support and to fund this electric rail at this point. The other thing is that I got a chance to listen to on Zoom Shoreline, a country called the Shoreline, stakeholders. The last meeting took place was December 8th. So a lot of things has come up at this point. We have a Senate bill that is to be granted. It's $1,499,285 awarded to the California Ocean Protection Council, and that's the OPC. Through this Senate bill, it's for the sea level rise adaptation planning grant program. The other thing is that they had a group that actually, a leadership group that took place during the time that we hadn't convened. And it's a total of 20 individuals, and there will be actually hitting the ground with other individuals and stakeholders to get this information out about our shoreline. They will be doing it in phases, and they're looking for more community response and community engagement at this point. They're starting with community engagement for the communities. They're going to be hitting. We're looking at North Richmond shoreline at first, and from North Richmond shoreline, and to get that information and to boost the excitement to get started again, what we're doing with the shoreline. So with that, and that took place only Monday, with this was the shoreline stakeholders meeting after 4 months. Well, not 4 months, but the last meeting was in December. So it's moving ahead at this point. So that's my last meeting, but upcoming tomorrow, Community Housing Development will be having their retreat, and we'll be going over what the community has accomplished at this point and what we're looking forward to do with affordable housing. And on the 18th, we're having Earth Day at Lucky A's Park and Wildcat Creek for the cleanup, and that will be taking place between 10 and 2. Thank you. Uh-oh, I can't hear her. She's on mute.
President Alvarado?
Yes, so since the last WCW board meeting, I attended the April 3rd, we had the first meeting of our ad hoc committee for the GM evaluation, where the committee selected Daniel King to do the GM evaluation. Before the evaluation begins, the committee will be meeting with Mr. King to go over the process. That meeting is scheduled, I believe, for next week sometime. On April 6th, I attended the San Pablo Council meeting. At that meeting, there was a detailed presentation on the MCE program and partnership with the City of San Pablo. MCE is the acronym for the Marine Clean Energy. Any board member who is interested in learning more, please let me know, and I will send them the PDF presentation that was given at the meeting. The council then heard a spirited debate on an appeal by Embark to open a cannabis store on the old 7-Eleven site. After hearing from about 35 different individuals and the owner of Embark, the council approved the site for the new cannabis by Embark, which will be in the near future. Last item I wanted to highlight was the interview and appointment of a new planning committee commissioner, Anad Burrell. I'm sure some of you know her. Then on April 8th, there was a special San Pablo Council meeting that was focused on the upcoming two-year City of San Pablo budget. The meeting was long. There were discussions regarding the reserve account, beautification of the city, and the city's reliance on the casino revenues, and the high percentage they rely to balance their budget. There were some concerns by the council, especially my wife, the mayor, on how the city is spending their funds for beautification of the city. She wants the city to look better, and I, for one, want it to look better as well. So I applaud her efforts. April 13th, I attended the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council meeting via Zoom, but Director Mantilla has already spoken about that. On April 14th, I attended the IOE committee meeting, where the committee received updates on the PIPES program and a project closeout report for the secondary sedimentation basin #1 repair. And in the future, there will be, we'll be talking about other issues, especially the agency coordination between WCW and the cities. And that's my report. Thank you.
So, and for myself, I did attend, I'm going to, in the name of brevity, I will not repeat what's already been repeated. Richmond City Council meeting, Mayor's Conference, Contra Costa Board of Supervisors, the CSDA Legislative Days, as well as CWEA. They were being held simultaneously. Uh, Several well meetings, including the wrap-up from the well conference, the hazmat meeting for Contra Costa County, the resilient shoreline meeting, and same one that Director King Meredith already mentioned, the finance and administration meeting, 2 CSDA webinars, one on PFAS and one on finance. I highly recommend it. It's free. We're members. Our biosolids meeting, the CALIF board meeting, the CALIF planning meeting, planning meeting for the upcoming spring or summer conference. Cal State San Diego water meeting for the upcoming conference, and we're out with a speaker next week. And UCI meeting that been requested. I actually will be a speaker in September 26th. If you're interested and attending virtually, let me know. I can send you the information. CSU Fresno Water Institute meeting requested that students last Friday on finance, procurement, and legal with attorney Channing Hawkins. And then I attended 3 Earth Month events in Oakland, Berkeley, and there's 3 more coming up in Albany, El Cipriani, and Richmond. And I am currently at Water Week here in DC. Es todo. And Madam Clerk.
So immediately following this meeting, we have the Facilities Finance Authority. And then I also want to announce that we'll have a special meeting of the Infrastructure Operations and Environment Committee meeting on May 5th, because the regularly scheduled meeting will be canceled. And the next regular meeting of the board is May 6th. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, this meeting is adjourned at 7:54. I had to get my time straight. 7:54. Thank you. We will take how long do you need, Ms. Robin? 5 minutes?